Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is George Kingori. I'm your online finance guy who speaks about all things finance, how you can be able to save, invest and grow in your financial affairs. And today I'm going to speak about a 7-step process on how you can be able to ease into retirement. Retirement is a critical time in every person's life where you stop being actively involved in work and take a more laid-back and restful approach towards generating income. At this point, you are not making money from a salary, you are not making money from a business, but you are making residual income from the investments that you have already made. However, many people struggle during this phase for one reason or the other, and this is supposed to help you to ease into retirement as you get into a less active part of your life in terms of income generation. So what are these 7 steps that you should take or you should do? The first one is to have humility. Yes, you should have humility. If you are used to living big, if you're used to speaking big, if you're used to doing big, partying big and doing things in a big way, retirement is a time to ease just a little bit. Why? Because you might realize that your income may not be commensurate with what you are earning while you are actively involved as opposed to when you're in retirement. You may be actually earning a lot less, and even what you are earning may not be consistent for perhaps monthly, every single month, as opposed to a salary. And because of this, you need to ease down on the activities that were actually more cash consuming activities, and you need to do a little bit of easing when you enter into retirement. And one of the ways is to start with humility. Start from scratch, then you can be able to add activities as you deem possible economically on your end. So have humility as you start, as you ease into retirement. The biggest problem when people are unable to adapt is when they want to still live their previous lifestyle in their current state of retirement. Most likely than not, this is not actually possible, and you need to adjust yourself to be able to ease into retirement, and humility plays a big role. Of course, the other thing is to have a plan. The biggest challenge with retirees is they retire without actually having a plan. How are you going to generate the excess income? And you realize, like statistics that have been gathered in Kenya from research, is that people retire with only 30% of what they were initially making while working. And many people do not have a plan on how they can be able to bridge the gap. Remember, even though the school fees costs and other costs associated with raising children may go down, healthcare costs may actually go up. And many people need to have a plan on how they should be able to either cut down their spending significantly or increase their incomes to a point where they can be able to measure up to the cost changes. So have a plan, and also have a plan on how you'll be able to spend your time. Remember, you are not actively involved in work, but you still need to involve yourself in activities that could be able to fill your time. Many people may plan for finances, but may not be able to plan for the time that they have excessive in their hands. Look for activities around you. Look for ways to impact the community. Look for ways of engaging in other activities that could be able to help you ease into retirement. Many people enter into retirement without knowing what and when and how to go about their time. So time and money and planning for these things will be able to help you as you ease into retirement. The other thing is to avoid peer pressure. Many retirees on retirement may receive a lump sum figure of money, and many may go into the pressure of building big homes, maybe retirement homes. Others may get into the habit of buying big cars because they feel it is a status achievement when enter into retirement. Do not enter into this peer pressure, especially if you have not planned for these additional excessive expenditures. Remember, a house that is built for retirement may not generate income. and you do not want to not have cash flow as you enter into retirement. So do not enter into peer pressure. And remember, peer pressure at that age is a kind of peer pressure that is still there during teenage. Teenage pressure is the same as retirement pressure. So try to avoid this pressure, especially when you try to hedge your life against that of your peers. Of course, the other thing is, if you're going to retire in a location that is not where you are working, so if you are going to retire a country, you might as well get local very fast. Yes, if you are going to retire in a place that is not where you are raising your children or where you are working, and probably a rural location or a less expensive location, then the best thing is to be able to get local very fast. Have friendship networks, have friendship circles around you. Start speaking to locals, start interacting with locals. The biggest problem in retirement is when you become lonely, because when you become lonely, you can even become senile. So start thinking of creating networks, having networks, generating networks that will help you to ease into retirement, especially if you're going to make a big move from a city to a village setting where you may not necessarily have the same friends, and you may not necessarily be able to have the same conversations with these people, because again, your upbringing may be a little bit different. So ensure that you get local very fast. Get in touch with the local cuisines, get in touch with the local ways of doing things, learn the new ways of doing things in a new location, and you could be able to ease into retirement. The problem is many may enter into retirement, change location, but still maintain their fancy exotic styles of cuisines and dressing and all these things, and forget that they need to get local specific to the place where they're going to retire. So get local fast and start looking at ways you could be able to become more localized. Of course, the other thing is stop comparing and stop complaining. The problem with most retirees after some period of time is they start complaining. Why is my life like this? Why is so and so doing better? Because they compare each other in retirement. Remember, the result, how you are able to enjoy retirement is a result of how you are able to save, invest, and grow your finances. As you get into retirement, it will become exceedingly clear that there are people who made wise financial decisions and people who did not make wise financial decisions. If you find yourself among the people who do not make the wise financial decisions and it is a little bit too late, the easiest problem is to stop comparing yourself. Remember, even the people who are greatest, when they start comparing themselves, they start belittling even the achievements they have achieved. So stop belittling the achievements that you have achieved at this point in time, and stop complaining, because when you complain, you become bitter. When you become bitter, you start having depression and other mental issues and health issues and psychological issues that could actually increase the cost of healthcare as you ease into retirement. So those are some of the things you need to stop having to do, comparing yourself and complaining about it. Of course, the other thing is to ease on the expenses. Yes, ease on the expenses. This is because you can actually be able to ease on the expenses. You might realize that travel costs may go down. You may realize that education costs may go down. You may realize that various other additional costs that may be attached to an active work life may actually go down. And this is where you ease your expenses. The best advice I could give you is ease the expenses, then you can be able to go up based on the kind of lifestyle that you are crafting in retirement, rather than getting into retirement with fancy expenses, fancy tastes, fancy other things that will actually bring your costs going up. Because remember, even though your investment may be generating income, they are also tied to how much you are earning as a percentage and how much you have invested into capital. So ensure that you ease into the costs, then you can be able to increase as you deem fit and as you deem possible. So ease on those expenses that are coming. Of course, the other place is to avoid high pressure environments. As you ease into retirement, it is good to reduce on the high pressure environments. One of the easiest way to reduce on the high pressure environments is to Avoid starting businesses that you do not understand. Many people, as they enter into retirement, get the business bag, which tells them to do businesses, and especially high pressure businesses, high risk businesses that may not be good for their finances and they may not be good for their health. So ease on the high pressure environment, because even in high pressure environment, people do not stop to think, people do not stop to check on the things that they are doing, and they may end up doing bad decision making and actually lose out on their finances. So try to reduce on high pressure environments as you ease into retirement. And these 7 things are the easiest ways you can be able to ease into retirement and to ensure that you have a comfortable retirement going forward. Of course, the easiest way you can be able to ease your life in retirement is to invest, save, and grow your finances. And that is why I began this channel, because I desire that people will be able to retire with a level of comfort that is brought by having some financial security. So if you are not yet retired, then you could start planning for retirement, because that is the only way you could be able to have a comfortable retirement. I hope that you are learning, you are growing, and you are gleaning, and you are on your way towards financial strength. Thank you and enjoy your day.